time to do another episode of Inbox, but I am so dull and listless. How will I go on? That was a terrible intro, but let's just answer some questions from Michael TSZ. Dear Logan, Wendell, Max, and the rest of the Tech Syndicate team. Max is no longer here, but I'll send him your salutations, sir. I was wondering what your favorite Linux operating systems are, so that I may find one to use in a future build. This build will be for my brother, and he will most likely be using it purely for gaming and other media entertainment. I have used Ubuntu before and loved its simplistic UI design and minimal amount of resources that a computer uses when running it. Thank you for your help. Also, keep up the good work. And if you ever come to my house in a threatening manner, I will feed you candy and serve you Manischewitz till you you stroke my cat with the love and envy of 1,000 suns. Her name is Jimmy, and she is a fat cat. Well then, favorite Linux operating system, Wendell?
Right now I'm running Ubuntu, but I've installed GNOME 3, and I'm fairly satisfied with that. I like Debian the best, though, overall, for just general purpose stuff.
Yeah, what would you use one for versus the other? I mean, for this guy, he would probably be better off with Ubuntu just because, I mean, everything's a DEB file.
Yeah. Well, Ubuntu's based on Debian.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't gone too far off the rails. I was really disappointed with with Ubuntu a couple of versions ago. They really rushed it. There are some kernel issues with the current version. I had to do my own kernel for the current Ubuntu. You know, Zorin or Linux Mint might be good choices.
Yeah, you were cursing. I remember you were cursing at Ubuntu. You had a home server or something like that running Ubuntu, and you were cursing at it, and I was just like having fun with the Zorin. Zorin's another good one, but it's also based on Debian. I think it's actually based on Ubuntu. It's pretty much Ubuntu with a better UI. I'm actually liking Linux Mint 14 even better than Zorin now because it has GNOME 3, and so it's pretty much just like running Ubuntu with GNOME 3, except it has a few other features that I like. So check out Linux Mint 14, Ubuntu with GNOME 3, and yeah, that'll probably do you just fine, sir.
There's a ton of videos online about reconfiguring Ubuntu for GNOME 3, and you can look at GNOME 3 and see what it's all about. So, you know, definitely do that so that you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. P.S. Attached is an awesome GIF that a user made, Cosmos Magnus. Show it to those on YouTube that don't use the forums. I cannot believe I'm putting this on the screen. I can't believe this is happening. All right, next question is from Bobo Vicus. Hi, Bobo Vicus. You sent several good questions, so thank you for sending good questions. Hey, Logan, quick question here. I'm new to Linux and barely know what I'm doing with it. I'm running Zorin OS 6, I believe, and I have absolutely no clue how to find my flash drive. A friend of mine told me to check the mount folder, MNT folder, in the file system, but I still have no sign of it. If you help me, I'll send some snow down from Minnesota. It'll stay cold long. It's supposed to get as cold as -20 here on Monday. Happy Cookie Day. Half-assed signature, sir. I almost didn't read your email because I don't like half-assed anything. I like whole-assed. When I do stuff, I do it whole-assed.
So what your friend was saying was there's a folder in the root of your drive called MNT, short for mount, and what they're saying is that it's probably under there. I don't know that distribution off the top of my head.
It's pretty much, Zorin is pretty much Ubuntu.
There should be a file manager program then, and it should show up there. And it's
If
probably...
it's not, there might be some weird finagling you have to do. Maybe the drive is not compatible, or maybe it's running a file system. I mean, Linux works, and Zorin works with just about everything. It'll run FAT, it'll run XFX, and ZFS, and NTFS. It'll work with everything.
What you could do if you wanted to is drop to a terminal or drop to a command prompt to run bash or, you know, whatever, and then just type the word mount, and mount will show you everything that's mounted, and so you can see if something in that list kind of looks like it might be your USB drive, like the volume label of your USB drive might be there or something like that.
And once you get there, if you still can't figure it out, hop on our forum, and there'll be 100,000 people there willing and ready to help you, and whenever I jump on there, I'm ready and willing to help as well.
Or switch to Ubuntu.
Yeah, just get Ubuntu or Linux Mint 14. They're both great. I mean, I'm really liking Zorin, but I'm totally switching to Ubuntu with GNOME 3. Next question is from Luke. Luke says, I am a student going to school for creative writing. I've decided that I'd also like to turn my ideas into a video game. Could you recommend any programs or tools that I could use to get started to teach myself and learn the basic? He wants to learn the basic? Are you making like Apple II games?
GW Basic or Quick Basic?
Quick Basic, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's going to learn the basic. Also, if you could recommend programs that would be useful for making music for the video games as well, That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time, and I hope y'all keep growing. Well, we all's gonna keep growing as long as y'all keep watching. So,
oh dear.
Yeah, oh dear. Now, if you're a creative writer, that's like half the battle. There are a lot of guys out there who know how to use this stuff, and they don't have any good ideas. They're like, well, I'm going to make a game about a plant that has pneumonia and sneezes all over everything and has to go to the store and get a remedy. No. Don't do that. Well, actually, it's a pretty good idea, isn't it? That's like indie game material right there from a guy from Canada. Check out Unity 3D because it requires very little programming and you can still make a game. You will need to still write some script here and there depending on what you're doing with the game, but you can make 3D and 2D games. You didn't really tell me what kind of game you wanted to make, but you know, Unity is that's like kind of a industry standard for indie games, and it's also something that you can use easily by yourself. It's not so good if you're collaborating with people that are not in the same room because the collaboration tools are not quite there yet, but use that one. I know a lot of people that have been using it, and when I went to PAX, everyone was talking about Unity. It was kind of getting annoying. So, and they're all making very similar looking 3D games. Puzzle platformers. Please, God, don't make a puzzle platformer. There are enough of those out there. Hey, look, it's like Mario, except you have to figure out puzzles. Yeah, it's not unique anymore. I'm sorry. Coppercube is also interesting because it supports WebGL, and that's kind of an important thing. You sent over a couple here. What do you have here?
Connect.js.
Mm-hmm, Connect.js.
And then there was
no Connect. Just HTML5 canvas.
Yeah.
So that one's cool. And then Enchant.js.
Yeah, that one's a 2D one. Yeah, it's like I want to make Final Fantasy 2 in HTML5. There you go.
By all means. Now, you also mentioned music creation programs. I use Fruity Loops, which is kind of silly. You can also use LMMS, which is a free, basically like a free version of Fruity Loops. Doesn't quite have all the features, but you can get by with it. If you are not a musician or you do not understand music, don't waste your time making music. It'll be frustrating. The music will sound crappy, and it'll be just a huge waste of your time. You'll sink way too much time into it. But if you do understand music a little bit, then go ahead and have fun with it. I would usually recommend collaborating with someone or trying to find someone else to work with. You can go online and just find somebody. You can go on our forum and be like, hey, I'm making a game, and show some of your stuff that you're doing and say, does anybody want to make music? And maybe I'll even throw you a song. I don't know. Buy his Vihander. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are going to recommend their own favorite platform for making games.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking that most of the time with that, you just have to get the concept down and then tinker with it. And it's really hard to just pick up something and do something with it. But a lot of the frameworks make it fairly easy to do just that.
Yeah, and I will say that it's very important to outline and organize your ideas before you just start jerking around, because you'll get halfway through and be like, oh, wait, there's this one key element that now I want to implement throughout the entire game, and you're going to be like, oh, I've got to redo the entire game to make this work. So try to organize your thoughts before you do it and then stick to it. That's just a little life pro tip there. Okay, next question is from William. Hello to the entire Tech Syndicate team. Have you guys ever thought about going to QuakeCon? If you cannot say it for legal reasons, just say the Awesome Beard Convention. And being one of the speakers/shows. If not, I think that it would be really cool. And you can have tons of fans there. I think it's the wrong version of there. And again, some new ones on the way. P.S. I love your beard! All caps there. Oh yeah, and the show. Obviously, I love both equally. Can you love both equally? Because one is a beard and one is a show, sir. One gives you more than the other. I'm not sure which. Depending on who you are, I suppose it would be a different scenario. William, yes, I really do want to go to QuakeCon, but it's in Texas. That's pretty much the end of it.
Enough said.
Yeah. No, I like QuakeCon. I want to go to QuakeCon. I want to go to all the cons. But it all depends on, how much sense it makes. We went to PAX last year, and I think 4 people watched our videos from PAX. We spent so much money to bring you guys this content, and nobody watched it.
Yeah, some of those videos had like 600 views.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for 600 people for watching. That was really cool. But we got a bigger audience now. Maybe you guys will watch. Should we go to PAX East? Do you guys care about all the independent games at PAX East? Look at some of our old PAX footage. I mean, that was back when we were just getting started, really. And let me know if you guys would like us to go to PAX East in like a month and a half or whatever, whenever it comes up. And I would love to go to QuakeCon if somebody will sponsor us. And we're getting enough hits that maybe somebody will give us money to go. I'm not going to be paid to sell out. I will say, hey, these guys gave us money to go. Aren't they cool? And that'll be pretty much the extent of the sponsorship. You guys hear that? Sponsors, potential sponsors? You're going to get a whopping value. Next question is from Coke. Like the drink or like the stuff you put up your nose? Ahoy! Tech Syndicate crew. Started reading 1984 from George Orwell because you guys quoted in a couple episodes of The Tech. It's an excellent book, especially with all the regulation attempts to the internet this day. I was wondering if you can recommend any other good books. P.S. Sorry if my grammar is bad. Greetings from Mexico. Oh, you've qualified your grammar, sir. Now that I know you're from Mexico, is it coque? Spent some time in Mexico, and I thought it was quite fun. Down there, I ran around in the Rockies until I got myself in trouble. Some good books. Well, if you like 1984, of course, there's Fahrenheit 451, which I do not like. A bit flowery. I don't know, have you read that one?
Many, many moons ago.
I can't deal with the whole, like, her skin was the color of milk that had been left on a table to, like, and her eyes were like an endless sea of crystals. Like, I get tired of that stuff after a while. I'm like, yeah, just what happens next?
What about Call of Cthulhu? Just dive right in.
Yeah, there you go. Not bad. We should just do this on the forum because I'm going to have to list too many books. My favorite book of all times for anyone who wants to know is George R.R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire. It's a series of books, and that's pretty much my favorite. I also like nonfiction quite a bit. I'm reading a lot of John Krakauer lately, so look him up too. He writes about the outdoors and stuff like that. He's fun to read.
We were talking about Freakonomics the other day.
Yeah, Freakonomics. I haven't read that one yet. I read a lot of Dawkins. I read Simon Winchester. I don't know. There's a lot of good books out there. Just read books, all of them. I go on the forum and ask them because you get a lot of good ideas on there from guys that have read stuff that I've not read and girls that have read stuff that I've not read. Guys is a general term. When I use it, I mean people.
Maybe Arthur C. Clarke.
Oh, I just finished reading Arthur C. Clarke. I just read that like 2 weeks ago, like 2001 Space Odyssey. And now I get all the Hal jokes.
Breakfast with Rama.
Dave. Come in here, Dave. I want to tickle you. No. Hal, no. Yeah. Okay, next question is from AI. We have AIs emailing the show now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hello, I've noticed you really like to use Seasonic built branded power supplies. Could you possibly tell us why you like them and what makes them better than other PSUs such as Cooler Master Silent Pro 80 Plus Gold Series? Because I understand the importance of a good PSU, but do not truly understand what makes a great one. Thanks, love the show, especially how you cater to countries other than America. Son, what are you talking about? If you ain't in America, then you suck. Okay, that's the end of that garbage.
The best answer for this, we'll probably have to defer. We need to haul out the oscilloscope, and we can show you.
Yeah, we'll be doing some of that. I just ordered a Seasonic, so I'll be playing with that one. I've got my XFX, which has some Seasonic parts in it, like the board is a Seasonic in there. And since I put the 850 watt XFX into my system and removed the Cooler Master, it was a Cooler Master with 4 12-volt rails. This one has a solid, strong 12-volt rail, one single solid, strong 12-volt rail. 12-volt rail.
You went from a 4-rail 12-volt power supply to a single rail.
And I have not had one hitch or crash or stutter. It is amazing. I love it. That thing was crashing like twice a day before. So I've got nice smooth power going everywhere. It's all about the quality of the components. I mean, give me a Cooler Master. Let me open it up and see that the capacitors are of a high quality, and I'll be happy. Let me see that the soldering job is of a high quality. Let me see that they're not using glue to stop capacitors and things like that from vibrating. Didn't you see the glue like somewhere?
Yeah, there was we took a power supply apart and it was overheating because the board was completely covered in hot glue. And it was like, oh, we'll take the hot glue off, and then it had a whine, and it's like, oh, they put the hot glue on to stop it whining, and it overheated, and oh god.
Yeah, they were like, we've got a defect in this one. Oh, just cover it in hot glue so it'll stop whistling and sell them.
Yeah, I think it's like a coil whine or something.
And that's how forest fires begin. It's all about the quality of the components, and Seasonic is just notorious for using absurdly high-quality components. They've got a couple here and there that have received bad reviews or not had the same, the same efficiency across all load levels. And that's something that's very important. That's why I like the XFX Pro 850 that I just got, because it has almost the same efficiency at just about every level. 10% load, 30% load, 50% load, 100% load. They're all well over 80%, and that makes me happy. So, yeah, we'll do some more into that. We'll hook up the oscilloscope and just see how nice some of these power supplies are. I'm quite looking forward to playing around with this 750 watt gold-rated Seasonic that I just ordered. I've had silver and bronze, but I haven't had a gold-rated Seasonic in my hands in quite some time. So that'll be fun to play with. All right, next question is from Steven. Hey, Logan. I have a pressing question for you. I've been looking for a new computer laptop, and there are two options I found to be good. An i7-3630QM at 2.4 gigahertz, and an i5-3210M at 2.5 gigahertz. Now, this may seem like a stupid question, as I am a noob in the world of computers, but which one is better? I know gigahertz has a lot to do with it, but what other differences are there to consider? Well, those two parts, there are quite a few different things that we should take into consideration. Now, first off, the i5 is a dual core that's hyper-threaded, so you have, you know, Four threads, but it's a true dual core. It also has 3 megabytes of their cache. Well, I forget what they got. They have some fancy name for it. They call it Smart Cache. The QM is a quad core, and it's also hyper-threaded, which is really nice to see. So you have 8 threads there. That makes a big difference already if you're going to be doing things that require that many threads. Gaming's not going to take advantage of 8 threads, but it will be better on a quad core than it will be on a dual core. Also, note that if you're going to be doing like multitasking or have multiple things going on at the same time, or if that was redundant, or if you're going to be doing music creation, or if you're going to be doing like video editing or something like that, the quad core is going to be quite a bit faster. They both have quick sync, so they're going to render at a decent speed, but the quad core will pretty much destroy it when that comes into play. It won't be that much faster in games. I mean, it depends on the graphics card that's in the system. You know, if you've got a nice dedicated graphics card, that's going to be where most of the, I guess that's where most of the gaming is going to be done, but you know what I mean.
And sometimes you got to be careful because the power settings on the laptop will actually throttle the processor even when it's plugged in. You got to be careful with that because it'll hurt your performance.
So keep an eye on that. But I mean, if they're around the same price, that 3630 QM is a much better CPU in my opinion. I use something like that for like an editing laptop, but I would not use the i5 for an editing laptop. I need to get a new laptop.
All things being equal, the i7 is probably a better choice.
Even if it was like 200 megahertz slower, I would still take the i7.
The i7 may also turbo to a higher clock speed.
It does, as a matter of fact.
So if you're not doing something that's generating a lot of heat, it's going to run faster anyway.
Yeah, it turbos to 3.4.
Well, there you go.
And the i5 only turbos to 3.1.
Yep.
Next question is from Tactical Error. Logan, have you ever had to kill a ghost box with your mind as a result of someone not liking Ear Slayer? Ear Slayer is a Zweihander. That's the silly 8-bit style music that I do, and you guys should pick it up because it makes me very happy when you guys enjoy the music. And then share it. Throw it on your favorite pirate website. I don't care. Just share it with the world. So, Tactical Error, you want to know if I've ever had to kill a ghost fox? Do you? Really want to know? Yeah, last Thursday, I had to kill a ghost fox with my mind power. Sir, how did you know it was a ghost fox? Did you send the ghost fox with your hatred of Ear Slayer? Did you create it in your hate machine? I think Tactical Error has made a tactical error here.
Dun dun dun.
You remember that ghost fox? It wreaked havoc. Your printer is now like in a pile of it's a pile of rubble. It was the Ghost in the Machine fox for a while, but we got it in the printer and then we unplugged the printer from the wall. You did some fancy...
Turns out this particular ghost fox is allergic to magenta toner.
That's what we did. We unplugged it and then put the magenta toner in. So, yeah. And that kept it at bay. And then I sat there for 6 hours and stared at the printer until it vaporized. Send all the ghost foxes, sir. You cannot stop me. I will make more music, and you will hate it. Tactical Error. Knew it was you. So that's all for this show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And did I sit here the entire episode with nothing in this glass?
Maybe not the entire episode, but there you go. Now it's empty. Yeah.
Oh well, empty. Like the rest of the content here. Subscribe. Or, oh man, always gotta come up with threads. Subscribe. Or I will come to your house and pick up your cat. It always starts with me coming to your house. Have you noticed that? Because that's creepy. I'll come to your house and I'll pick up your cat. I'll take it to the cat gym and I will feed it so much whey protein and work it out until it looks like a little miniature cougar. And then I'll twist its tail while it looks at a picture of your face.
I would suggest that it's not necessary to go to people's houses this time because you can just send the mutant ghost foxes.
Oh yeah. I'll take Tactical Air's mutant ghost foxes and reprogram them. So a ghost fox will come and pick up your cat and bring it back to me, and I'll feed it whey protein and work it out and make it attack your face by bending its tail while looking at a picture of you. And then I'll send it back home.
If we plug a Raspberry Pi into its brain, you know, that could work, but it'd probably be adorable. I mean, a ghost fox with a Raspberry Pi hat. I mean, come on.
Ghost in the Shell Part 3? Alright, that's enough of this. I'll see you guys next time.